Currently in Malaysia, there is a food resource platform that brings food to the people for a near 70% discount, as to encourage restaurants not to contribute to food loss and waste while bringing the resources to those in need. Here's more.
According to reports from the United Nations, COVID-19 has impacted food production globally and has severely delayed the food supply chain. A few of the major exporters of food, such as Vietnam, India, and Russia, have stopped exporting food in order to save them for their own domestic supplies. The UN also estimates that this year there will be an increase of 1.3 billion hungry people, as the world is facing a food supply emergency unseen in 50 years. In Malaysia, much of the farm products like rice, meats, and vegetables are imported in order to meet the demands of the domestic market.
We import a lot of critical food from other countries. Our food import bill has reached 50 billion every year. And that's huge for a country. We have land which is fertile, but we are not growing our own food because a lot of our focus is more on cash crops. So now that COVID-19 has happened, we find it a problem to actually bring in food that we're supposed to. The cost of cross-border trade has increased because of the SOPs. It might shoot the prices very high up.
Executive Director Faisal Iran Sam of the International Strategy Institute says, the world is not at the critical stage where there is a shortage of food, but due to COVID-19, those living at or below the poverty line have a more difficult time getting the food.
Actually, the whole world, we don't lack of food. We have a lot of food. It's just that the food does not go to where it's supposed to go, to the poor people, the unfortunate people. We don't have a functional, efficient way of distributing excess food because we produce and produce and produce and produce, but we just produce for nothing, you know. At the end of the day, it goes into the tong sampah. And this is the classic feature of capitalism which we need to change.
Since 2017, Green Hero, a platform to channel and distribute excess food to those who need it, was born.
We saw a waiter brought out a black garbage bag. It smelled something like strawberries. I was curious to it, so I opened the bag. What I saw was all the good pastries in that bag. And I was so angry and frustrated at the same time. And from there, we created a social enterprise business model.
Currently, there are over 80 restaurants participating on Green Hero to help sell the excess food from the day. The prices are marked 30% off, with many people benefiting from such discounts, as well as reducing food wastage. In just 3 years, Green Hero's daily sales percentage went from averaging 10% to now 55%.
We want to reduce food waste, not just in Penang, but for Malaysia and also for ASEAN.
The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations has provided 9 tips on how people can actively prevent food loss and waste. The food crisis is slowly impacting our lives, but as long as we are actively reducing and preventing food loss, then it is believed the stomachs of those hungry people in the world will be warmed.